Wagwan team, welcome back to another video. Say hi, Danny.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Danny. So we're back. Constant piss taking. We are back in England, and this is my first training video back. We are on the way to Route 1. We are on the way. We are on the way to Route 1 Fitness. It is 5 to 4, but it is England, so of course it is already getting dark. Kind of mid-December. We will be there in about 20 minutes, and we're going to crack on with a full body session. A little bit of strength, a little bit of kind of like functional / metabolic bodybuilding stuff, and then a wee conditioning finisher to end on before we inevitably indulge a little bit with the England-France game in a couple of hours. So 15-20 minutes to the gym, and then we will crack on. So here we are back at Route 1. As I promised, full body session. As I said, a little bit of strength, a little bit of functional bodybuilding, and some conditioning work thrown in there as well, what I call full body, all systems. That is what we're going to be cracking on with today. And instead of kind of focusing on a specific kind of training methodology or particular kind of component of strength training, one of the things I wanted to do is basically just kind of share with you a recent reflection that I had, which is, you know, the fitness industry is something that's existed for flipping decades, but it is still a massive growth industry. And I was kind of wondering why so many people are drawn different forms of exercise now when the world offers a level of comfort that it never has done, and people in theory don't even flipping need to leave their house. But people seek out deliberate discomfort in the form of kind of different forms of training. And I think one of the reasons why like good physiques and impressive performance standards are so well kind of sought after is the fact that fitness really in all its forms and all its components are truly one of the world's kind of last authentic meritocracies. To a point, you can be genetically gifted, you can get good coaches, you've got access to good equipment or whatever, but beyond those kind of minutiae, the foundation of the way that your body looks and the way that it's able to perform is down to your own flipping hard work. It is down to your own application of effort. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many people are really kind of enamored with impressive physiques. A couple of clean pulls to get myself warmed up. I can't really do any cleans and actually drop the weight here, and I don't trust my wrist to be able to catch it in a position where I can lower it down, so clean pulls it is. Kind of getting on to what I was talking about a second ago, I truly believe that exercise is basically one of the world's most primal, kind of last standing meritocracies, and that's why, again, people admire impressive physiques and they admire great performance. And again, you've got the genetics, you've got all the other stuff that you can kind of blame it on or attribute to it. But the fact of the matter is, when someone's doing something impressive or they look impressive, it is inspirational, it's aspirational, it's motivational. And I think that's one of the reasons, especially people are quite enamored with like really impressive kind of success stories and testimonials and before and after photos, because that is single-handedly the start line and the finish line, the journey where the only way that someone could have got there is application of effort. They can't outsource it. You cannot flipping outsource your fitness result. You can do different things to hack your way to basically give yourself the best possible tools to undergo this journey, but beyond that, it is down to your own flipping hard work. Fact. And I think in the deep, dark recesses of our mind, we know that, and that's one of the reasons that people are drawn to it, because it's a way to kind of demonstrate your own application of effort and your own ability to apply hard work and work ethic into something. Okay, so power cleans turned into clean pulls basically because we're upstairs and downstairs is cold and I'm a wimp. So the first section of the session, we're going to do some step ups, we're then going to do some sandbag push press, and then some GHD rows, which is an interesting kind of pull exercise. I haven't really done that much before. So legs, push, pull. Again, today is not really following any particular theme or normal kind of component of my training program. It's basically a little kind of like strength tricep with a leg push pull tricep at the beginning, and then moving on to some conditioning stuff at the end. So we will see how we get on with that. The GHD rows especially, I'm intrigued because I've never flipping done them before. So again, this is a little bit of a break from a normal program. I only got back from Melbourne about 3-4 days ago, but again, kind of the insight I've already shared with you cannot outsource this stuff. And I think that although a lot of people might be overtrained, there might be also a number of people who very, very, very easily use that voice inside their head to justify why it's probably best they don't train. And it's Saturday afternoon / Saturday evening, just before an England World Cup game. It'd be very easy for me to tell myself that it is okay that I don't do something. I do need to take kind of a little bit of a break from my normal plan, but getting in here and just kind of doing a bit of everything, a full body all systems, is something that I wanted to make sure that I hold myself accountable to do. And in terms of an extra little kind of like maintenance session where you do a little bit of everything, it's good to kind of demonstrate that to you guys today and show you what that might look like. So lower body, push, pull, tricep, let's go. 2 down, 1 to go. Section 1 of the session done. We're only going to do 2 sections. I did flip and enjoy that, to be honest. Nice little tricep in the bag, lower into push, into pull, and actually, to be honest, I didn't even have the 30-second break. I should have gone probably a little bit heavier in all of them, but again, it's still work. I think a lot of people that are fairly kind of Puritan and deal with absolutes, hashtag Danny, if they think they can't hit a session 100%, they're like, well, there's no point in doing it. And I think realistically, with how busy the flipping Western world is, that's just not a particularly productive way to look at life, especially with your own training. I mean, the number of sessions that I do where I feel anything above kind of 95%, I think people underestimate how flipping high that is. It's incredibly rare. What I keep reminding myself of is, even if I hit a session 50%, if the reason I'm not feeling 100% is illness or injury, then by all means rein it in a little bit. But if it's just kind of general energy or lethargy, or you're hungover, or you're a little bit tired, but you still believe, you make the subjective kind of assessment and judgment call that it will still be productive to do something, then still do something. Exhibit A is me here today. I'm flipping tired, 4th, 5th day back in the UK. Jet lag's probably hit me worse today than it has any other day, but I'm still here moving. And one of the other things that I find really flipping fascinating about kind of the psychology of why people are deliberately drawn to things that are objectively uncomfortable, hard exercise sessions, long saunas, ice baths, you know, cold water immersion, something I've been doing for a couple of years, super contemporary and popular at the moment. And it does make you think, why is this stuff so popular? In addition to the physiological benefits that it might give you, I also think that experiencing discomfort and then that thing becoming less and less uncomfortable and developing a tolerance for it is incredibly flipping, fulfilling and nourishing. I think we get to a stage, it kind of reinforces a feeling of capability and robustness and resilience. And that's why we do it, because a lot of these things, they do suck in the moment. But I think for some reason, we are primarily drawn to things that do suck in the moment. And I do believe that that's the reason why, because it kind of makes everything else feel a little bit more comfortable. And there is, for me, and I don't know whether or not this resonates with any of you. If it does, please put it down in the comment section below. But I genuinely like to absolutely beast myself in a session during a day that I know I'm going to be slightly more indulgent later. I'm seeing some friends later. It's the England game. There's about kind of 6, 7, 8 of us, loads of food, probably a couple of drinks as well. So now I'm like, I want to make sure that I work hard to justify that. And some people might say that that's a dangerous mentality. It may be considered that, I'm not sure. But for me personally, I'm not running. I don't feel bad about indulging if I haven't trained. Everything just seems to be experienced in a slightly kind of sweeter state. Food tastes a bit better, kind of I'm sitting in the couch. The contrast of it all after a cheeky little conditioning session like this just makes everything feel a little bit better. So that's the first section of the session done. Enough waffle for me. Let's crack on with section number 2. Right, so one of the best accountability tools that I've found for any kind of conditioning session is basically an EMOM, because as soon as you kind of decide that this is what you need to do within a certain time frame, you flipping have to do it. Whereas an AMRAP, as many rounds as possible in a certain time frame, you can kind of take your foot off the gas a little bit. So, strength/conditioning EMOM is as follows. D-ball to the shoulder times 6 at 60 kilos. Disgusting. I tried 60 kilos in the overhead press. Didn't work. 6 reps at D-ball to the shoulder at 60 kilos. Deficit press-ups times 15. This is kind of minute 2. I'm going to use the parallettes for that. So basically normal press-ups, obviously you're only going to a certain range. Get a little bit of an extra kind of stretch on the pec tendon. You can tell we're literally just talking off camera about how flipping articulate I am, other than when I'm jet lagged and I've just got back from Australia, when I forget my own name. So to get a little bit of an extra stretch on the pec tendon and everything, you can do it with a certain kind of barbell, but basically we're not doing bench today, we're doing press up. So basically I just need to lift my hands up so I can take my chest a little bit further down. So we'll do 15 of those, 15 goblet squats, 20 calorie row, and then on the 5th minute it's going to be rest. So we are going to do that for 4 rounds. I'm intrigued to see how we get on. I like doing like a 5-minute EMOM with 4 different stations, and then the 4th station is a piece of erg kit that basically absolutely flipping smashes me so that I need that 5th minute rest. Yes, we do have a rower here. I literally had to turn around and go to check that. Right, we'll set everything up and then we'll get going. That is round 1 done. On to a minute of rest now. That wasn't too bad actually. The D balls were a little bit harder than I thought, but I think it's just flipping awkward. If your stabilizers aren't kind of feeling it, it's something that requires explosivity. You can't do it slowly. But the press ups are pretty spicy as well. So I'm quite naturally dynamic. My body's used to going down to a certain point before that stretch reflex takes over. So the fact I have to kind of go to that new ground, the body's like, what the hell is this? I never stretched this far, so it's a hell of a lot more difficult. Another 30 seconds, then it's round 2. Round 2 done, and I think it works quite well actually. There is a build-up of fatigue as you go, and it's taking me about 40 seconds to do the 20 calories on the rower, which is kind of comfortable-ish pace. I could go quicker, I could definitely go slower because I've got a minute to fill it, but I suppose because I know I've got a minute rest after, trying to kind of push myself hard. Again, you look at any kind of session on paper, it's meritocracy, man. You get out what you put in, right? Anyone can loaf through a session, get it done, execute reps half-assed in terms of depth or speed or intensity. But at the end of the day, if you do that for your whole fucking life, you'll be caught out, right? So, 15 seconds, round 3. Only doing 3 rounds, not 4, because people are all going to be knocking at the flipping door in about 30 minutes. We're going to get back, so I'm going to do 30 calories instead of 20. Let's finish strong. I'm pretty happy with how that went. I'm more flipping happy with the fact it's over. Whew. I'll speak to you lovely people in a minute, but for now, I'm gonna put my lungs back in. Lungs and all other organs are back in my body. Feeling flipping better. That was good. Basically, again, we only did 3 rounds. We couldn't do 4, basically because we've got to get back. It is 5:30 now. We live 25 minutes away. And people are coming around at 6. So that doesn't leave a massive amount of wiggle room, does it, Danny? No, it does not. again, kind of the sponsoring message that I wanted to share today, guys. Again, this is the first kind of video I might have ever done in this particular format, in this style, which is not particularly educational around a particular training methodology or component of fitness or training variable or biohack or whatever, but more around just kind of subjective, phenomenological insight and reflection from me. And that is, again, the way that your body looks and the kind of stuff that your body can do. It's a meritocracy. There's only so much you can outsource, you can hack, and I absolutely advise everyone to invest in themselves in terms of recovery, in terms of making sure you've got a good program, in terms that you're eating right and optimally for you, etc. But to a point, they are crumbs. The biggest piece of the pie by an absolute flipping country mile is your own application of effort and your own flipping work ethic. And I think that deep down we all know that, and there are a lot of people, you guys are obviously subscribers on my channel, so you're not like this, but a massive amount of people in the Western world are silver bullet chasers. They're looking for the exception, not the rule. They're looking for a particular flipping brand of grapefruit to eat half of every morning because that's going to change X, Y, Z. Whereas I think that for the vast majority of people that are looking for these tiny little things that could add an extra fraction of a percent, they can add a good 5 to 8% by just applying more fucking effort. And for me, whenever I get an amazing session done, it makes everything else feel a little bit sweeter. Again, I don't think that that develops or cultivates a particular negative association, like someone can't enjoy a bloody slice of cake without going for a run. But at the end of the day, I'm not here trying to appeal to the snowflakes. I'm here to remind everyone that's watching this video right now that to a certain point, pleasure requires work. And when we've worked for something, it'll fucking taste sweeter. Have a beautiful day, people. If you did like this style and this kind of insight and reflection from me, please do smash that like button. If you didn't and you absolutely hated it and you don't think I have anything of value to say, please also smash that like button, but please leave it in the comments and feed the algorithm. If you have not yet done so, please do subscribe. And as always, beautiful people, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome. And I will see you guys in the next video.